Hello there! If you clicked on this video, I'm presuming you've watched Beyond Scared Straight sometime before. If not, it involves taking kids who have had brushes with the law and showing them the horrors of prison life in an effort to scare them straight so that they don't end up there somewhere down the line. It's intense and often a little bit scary. My name is Danny Burke and this is the top 10 scariest moments on Beyond Scared Straight. Starting off at number 10 now, we have Andarius. Now this is perhaps one of the most famous clips on Scared Straight. 13-year-old Andarius is on the show for arson and gang affiliation. He also claims to be a member of the Bloods gang. That all seems to crumble away though when he meets an actual member of the rival Crips gang who puts him in his place. Look what happens when he's torn between listening to the inmate or the deputy.
You won't listen to him? Stand up. I said stand up. I said stand up.
Moving on to number 9 now, we have Big Dragon. That's the name of this 37-year-old inmate who is currently serving 2 life sentences for 2 murders. He had to be actually restrained for security reasons while speaking to this group of kids. One of them was Angel, a boy who was caught up in gangs and drugs. He kind of had a little bit of a smirk on his face the whole time he was there, and Big Dragon reminded him that he's not as safe as he thinks he is.
These teens ain't gonna stop me, on. You know, when you come in here, you ain't gonna have all these cops here to protect you, eh?
Next up at number 8 now, we have Adonis. Now this was a 34-year-old guy in jail for theft who had some advice for 17-year-old Travis who had also been reprimanded for theft. During their conversation, Adonis realizes that words might not be working, and so he decides to show him the physical consequences of his time in prison.
I got stabbed in the face. I got stabbed in my chest. All at one time, about me not knowing the rules, not sitting on somebody's bed.
Moving on to number 7 now, we have Cotton Candy. I couldn't find the actual name of the guy doing this speech, so that's what I'm going to call him because he mentions that in the speech. Anyway, he's an inmate who had some stern words for Brandon, a 16-year-old brought onto Scared Straight for armed robbery, home invasion and drugs. He reminded them that the guards aren't always going to be around to protect them.
You think you're hard, don't you? I see it, you're not. And you're making your family look bad, you're shaming your family.
Next up at number 6 now, we have Grab the Comb. This is another very famous clip from the show where one of the inmates makes a kid brush his chest hair with a comb. Not really sure if that's okay to be on TV, apparently it is. Amazingly, that's not even the most shocking part here. Watch what happens when one of the kids refuses to pick up the comb afterwards.
I'd have beat your ass. Man, let me go, man, let me go.
What would you guys have done? Would you have just picked it up? Coming at number 5 now, we have Dakota Joe. Now this guy makes the list for just being creepy. When one of the kids gets a little bit too smug, this inmate just goes off on a weird twisted monologue. Do you guys think he prepared this in his head beforehand? I think that would make it even more creepy. Check it out.
Why am I in orange? Because I'm the most vibrant person in this room. I'm the one that's got the access to everything.
Next up at number 4 now, we have Snitch. This episode involved Aiden, expelled from school for cocaine possession at just 12 years old. What? He gets surrounded by some huge guys that look like tattooed bears. They grill him about why he had the cocaine at school in the first place, and when the truth finally comes out, they let him know what happens to snitches in prison.
Who's your friend? What's his name? Oh, now you're a snitch.
Alright, at number 3 now, we have Steven. Steven liked to think of himself as a little bit of a bad boy, I guess. When he was surrounded by inmates screaming at him though, he tried to keep up his smug exterior for a while, but check out the intense moment where he finally snapped.
What you gonna do?
Y'all ready, cry, look at you. I'm gonna laugh at you now.
What you gonna
Alright, our next one is from the same episode. In at number 2 now, we have the extraction. In this episode, the prison is conducting an extraction. That's where they take a violent inmate and move them to another area by force. They need to be restrained in a chair and gagged. As a deputy in the video points out, this is a very rare event, but also a stark reminder to these kids of why exactly they should avoid jail.
I take a shower with shackles on. I don't go visit my mama unless I got shackles on.
And finally, number 1 now, we have Keyshawn. This 16-year-old was involved in theft, gangs and drugs. He was taken on the show and faced off with a bunch of inmates who were in their jail cells. That's when things escalated quite quickly. I'm glad the show already bleeped out all the swear words on this clip, saved us a lot of time.
You fight me. Your mom go home my too. Man, shut it.
Alright guys, that is that. I hope you're having a great day wherever you are in the world. Let me know what video you want to see next. My name is Danny Burke, thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.